Hey there, it's Shauna. I hope you're doing great. This is your weekly astrology forecast for July 10th. And this week is about finding opportunity in crisis. So this week you will have some opportunities that are becoming available to you. We had a really intense week last week with the full moon in Capricorn. There was Pluto in there, there was Mars in there, so it was very dynamic, and there may have been an external or an internal crisis, or maybe some kind of shift or a realization of what is not working for you. So this week you have opportunities available to you. All that you need to do is take advantage of them. So I'll share with you the astrology of this week, and then I have 3 tips for you to have an amazing week. So the major aspect that's happening this week is we have Mercury sextiling Jupiter. And this is really nice because Mercury is about your thought process, your communication. It's about connecting with other people. And then Jupiter is it's expansion, it's inclusion, and it also brings a certain element of luck and synchronicity, being in the right place at the right time. And the nature of this combination between these two is that there is opportunity, Jupiter, available to you, but it's a sextile, so that means that you may need to make some effort towards it. So this may look like asking for something. It may look like having a conversation with someone. It might be going through some hoops to get what it is that you want. But I encourage you to do that this week. So even though we are in the waning cycle, or the waning phase of the lunar cycle, where things are winding down a little bit, it's still a time to take some risks and to ask for what it is that you want. The other aspect that's happening this week is we have the last quarter moon in the sign of Aries. And so this is about getting closure on something. So Aries is also very action oriented. So again, it's the last quarter. So typically this would be when we're trying to get closure, we're trying to wrap things up, tie up loose ends. But it's in Aries, and so Aries is like, I want to get some shit done. So these aspects are happening towards the end of the week and the weekend. So you're going to feel this energy building. So this leads me to the tips that I have for you this week. Tip number 1 is to reach out to people. So this means connecting with people. This means sharing what it is that you're working on, sharing a need that you have, and not necessarily to like even say, hey, I need this, can you help me? But just to connect and just to share. And you may be surprised at some of the synchronistic connections that come up, where something may come in, or you may have an idea even, because this is Mercury, you may have an idea that comes to you, something that you hadn't thought of before. So that's tip number 1, to reach out to people. Tip number 2 is along these same lines. Tip number 2, I want you to ask for what it is that you want specifically this week. And so again, this doesn't have to be in like a self-serving kind of way. I would watch for that. But if there is a situation where you want someone to do something, like if there's something that you need from someone, I want you to ask them for it. That's really important this week, especially since we're moving away from the full moon last week, which was about power struggles and navigating through how it is that you feel powerful in your life. So a part of that this week is asking for what it is that you want, asking for what it is that you need from the people in your life. Tip number 3 is to take advantage of this last quarter moon phase energy. So tip number 3 is to do something to get closure this week. So whether that's a long-term project or a short-term project, or just wrapping up this stuff in your week so that you can be prepared for the coming weeks and the next month. Aries is action-oriented, and our last quarter moon is in the sign of Aries. So it's going to feel very satisfying this week to do something actively to get closure, to tie up loose ends. That's going to feel soothing. And if you don't do that, you may feel a certain amount of unrest. So if you are feeling unrest this week, just know that maybe if you take a few actions with this kind of energy, I would say definitely go for the low-hanging fruit, like what's really easy to get done now. So those are your tips. This is your forecast for the week. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave me a comment below. Let me know what it is that you're going to do this week. What are you going to ask for? What are you going to do? How are you going to get closure on whatever it is that you're working on this week? If you want to go deeper into the themes of this week, you can listen to the podcast that I co-host with my friend Mel. It's called The Feminine Principle, Astrology for Authentic Living, and I'll have a link for that down below. It's on iTunes. And if you want to get a reading, you can take advantage of my special this month. Since it's my birthday month, I'm running a special on all of my personal readings, and I'll have a link again for that below so that you can check that out on my website, neofeminine.com. I'm wishing you an amazing week and sending lots of love, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.